to be listening to me singing and expressing what this winter solstice or Yuletide is all about. So please do have a good listen. So today is the longest night and the shortest day. Some important things to remember about this amazing portal of the winter solstice. So the winter solstice is all about the dark time of the year, and this dark time of the year is all about remembrance and giving. So we remember those who've gone before us, we remember our ancestors, we give thanks to them, we give love to them, we give gifts to our loved ones, as everyone must know, as that tradition was carried along by the commercial holiday that everyone celebrates now with Xmas. So another way that we can give back to our ancestors is to have a libation. So here I have a libation of some spiced rum. So this is for the ancestors and for the deities. So it is normal for one to pour a libation into the earth, or if you like, you can pour it into a dish or a plate, something like that. So that is a libation, giving a drink to spirit, to deity, and to the ancestors. Or here I have a small cake, so that is another offering which I give to the ancestors. So I've also got a candle here. So I've got a couple of essential oils. This has already been made with essential oils, as I made it myself. So I've named this one Turmeric Pina Colada Soy Wax Candle. But I'm gonna just add a little bit more zest and specialness to it, because I've got some lemongrass and cedarwood oil. So I'm just gonna massage a little bit of that onto the candle. Hello, Sandra. Hello. Femina says big up you. Thank you, Femina. So thank you for your comments and for watching, tuning in. So I'm just anointing the candle a little bit with some essential oils. The solstice is all about making noise as well, because like similar to Halloween, where we light candles to scare off malicious entities or spirits. With the winter solstice, we ring bells, we place bells by the doorways, we ring bells. In fact, I have my bell here, so instead of screaming, I'll ring the bell for you if you like. What is a bell? Says Zenons. Can you sing thick of it? I'm not sure what that is, but I'm intrigued. I'm not sure what that is. So I've got some carols here. So these are pagan carols, pagan songs. So these are to honour the sun, which after this day will begin to get stronger and the days will get longer, as we're now in the dark time. So this is all about the winter solstice and the return of the light and the reborn sun. It's a good practice to light a candle, and as we all know, this is a time for gift giving. So it's nice to give simple gifts, or whatever gifts that you're able to. Gifts can be as simple as like a friendly stick. Here I have a friendly stick which was given to me by another pagan friend of mine. So at the moment it's simply just been taken out of my friend's garden. So they took it from the garden and gave it to me so that I could use it as a wand. So I do have a lot of wands. If you've seen some of my other videos, you will have seen that. But just a simple stick. If you use a bit of sanding paper, if you sand it down, and it will make a nice wand. So wands can be as complex or as basic as you like. It's simply, its use is to send energy and direct energy. So on this winter solstice, I light the candle for the reborn sun, that the light may bring more, that light may grow stronger. So I'll just place this down over here. So a lot of pagans will light fires, so I'm not going to do that inside the house. So it's good to light fires if you're able to do so safely outside. If you're like in a clearing, for example, then lighting a fire would be what a lot of pagans would do. And also burning sticks. This is where we get the term Yule log. If you go in the supermarket, you'll see Yule logs, but they're not, they have nothing to do with wood, really, apart from they're meant to replicate the wood of the pagans, because the pagans, they gathered different forms of wood to then burn on their fires, in their spiritual ritual fires. So a lot of the sacred fires would be something like oak. Oh, there is a lot of fires that you could, there's a lot of woods that you could use which would be suitable. I believe you can mix quite a number of different woods, like hawthorn, oak, etc, etc, but it's important to remember not to burn elder, for elder is sacred to the goddess. Silent night, solstice night, all is calm, all is bright. Nature slumbers in forest and glen, till in springtime she awakens again. Sleeping spirits grow strong, sleeping spirits grow strong. Silent night, solstice night, silver moon shining bright. Snowfall blankets the slumbering earth. Yule fires welcome the sun's rebirth. Hark, the light is reborn. Hark, the light is reborn. So that is a pagan version of Silent Night. A lot of people will have heard the regular version, so that is a take on it by pagans. Okay. The weather outside is rizzy. And beautiful singing, says Zenon. Thank you, Zenon. Okay. And there is the Wiccan Amazing Grace, which was rewritten by Margot Adler. Amazing grace, how sweet the earth that formed a witch like me. I once was burned, but now I thrive. Was hanged, but now I sing. 'Twas grace that drew down the the moon, and grace that raised the sea. The magic of the people's will set our mother free. Amazing grace, how sweet the earth that saved a witch like me. I once was burned, but now I thrive. Was hanged, but now I see. Or rather, was hanged, but now I sing. Got the words mixed up a little there. But that is Wiccan's version of Amazing Grace. Okay. And there is the 13 Days of Solstice, which is a fun little song. Okay, so on the 13 days of the on the 13th day of the solstice, my gods, they gave to me 13 candles burning, 12 cauldrons boiling, 11 herbs a drying, 10 flowers blooming, 9 drummers drumming, 8 tantrics lessons, 7 books of shadows, 6 goddess statues, 5 oaken staves, 4 elements, 3 money spells, 2 pentacles, and a raven in a birch tree. So that's a funny version of 13 days of... So that's, instead of the 12 days of Christmas, we have the 13 days of solstice. Okay. And then the next song is Moon of Silver. So this is taken from We Three Kings. O moon of silver, son of gold, gentle lady, Lord so bold, guide us ever failing, never lead us in the ways of old. Maiden mother, ancient crone, Queen of heaven on your throne, praise we sing thee, love we bring thee, for all that you have shown. Lord of darkness, Lord of light, gentle brother, King of might, praise we sing thee, love we bring thee, on this solstice night. And that is Moon of Silver. So they're just a few fun pagan songs. So I do have one of my original Yule songs that I'm working on. So this is my own solstice song. Okay. Ice lies upon the darkened pathways. It glimmers like a billion twinkling stars. A frosty grey clings to the grassy places. If snow should fall, an endless white would soon replace it. Pray for the light. We pray for the light. Look to the heavens on this longest night. Pray for the light. We pray for the light. Look to the heavens for the promise of the light. Pray for the light. We pray for the light. Soon the reborn one will triumph like the day over night. This is our Yuletide prayer to the light, our prayer to the light. Pray for the light. We pray for the light. And we pray for the sun's return. And that is a bit of one of my songs that I've been working on. So that's a little rough, but I think you get the gist of it. Okay, so now let's just talk a bit more about some of the solstice traditions. So as I said, ringing bells is one of the solstice traditions. I hope nobody's sleeping. It's a good job it's not. It's a good job it's the weekend. It's Saturday night, so I don't think nobody will complain. Okay, so ringing bells is one of the traditions. Singing is one of the traditions. As you see, caroling is a widespread thing. So just as in these modern days we have Christmas carolers, in the ancient times, in the older days when paganism was more rife, then singing of the such songs would be popular at this time of the year. And also telling ghost stories is another interesting thing to do on solstice night, because there's something to do with with the veil being very thin. When you get to some of these pagan festivals, the veil is very thin, so the spirits do walk through the veil and they come and visit us. Okay, so it's nice to reminisce about loved ones. You could maybe pray if you like to, reflect, reminisce. These are all nice things to do during the solstice. And meditation is another good one. Like on any of the big portals, meditation is a great thing to do. So that's simply just holding one thought, or maybe trying your best to hold one thought, but trying not to grip onto it too tightly, but just being in the moment is the important thing. So you can focus on your breaths, breathing in, breathing out, and just repeating it over and over again. So these are easy ways that we can meditate. And once we use these techniques, we're more easily able to tap into the portal energies, such as the portal that we're in now, which is the winter solstice. And even Christmas is a portal, even though Christmas is kind of has piggybacked off of the winter solstice. So although portals are just their event which many people around the world over many generations, people have celebrating on these dates, and these then become portals. And then each of us, we are then able to connect with the energies of these portals and walk through the portals. Okay. Okay. Alex Mason says, can you say happy birthday to my brother? called Ninja Low Taper Fade. Okay, happy birthday. Okay. And Francine M says, Raven in the birch are blessed in the land of ravens and birch. Thank you. Thank you for that, Francine. Okay. So we can... So singing is a good thing. Ringing bells. I'm forever ringing bells at all times of the year, such as this spell. It's not working very well, but if you see some of my other videos, you'll hear me ringing that bell a lot. But just simple. We can do simple rituals just to invite back the sun as the sun is reborn. So a lot of pagans will stay up all through the night. So they'll stay up to encourage the return of the sun. So they will be singing, they'll be dancing, they'll be making merry, they'll be giving gifts, they'll be, like I said, they'll be reminiscing, telling stories about loved ones, telling ghost stories. These are all things which are lovely ways of celebrating the winter solstice or Yule, the Yuletide. So I'm just going to take a look into this book here, because I believe this may have a nice ritual in here which I can share with you. This is the Celtic Magic book by DJ Conway. So this is one of the first books that I started using. One of the first books. So that's summer solstice. So we want winter solstice. Where are you? Winter solstice, I just saw it. Okay, solstice. That's in bullet, winter solstice. It says special notes, time of the goddess of the cold, darkness, and the birth of the divine child, the reborn sun god, a time of rebirth and the turning of the earth force tides. So it says supplies which you can place on the altar is incense, burning, a burner, chalice of water, salt, pentacle dagger, sword. So these are all just the basic things that you would have on a witch's altar anyhow. So it says a chalice of wine, bell, a green candle in a cauldron with a red, white and black candle arranged around it. So this is just about candle magic. So these, if you have these stuff, then great, use black, white, red candles. If you just have one particular candle, if you have a tea light even, the most important thing to do with the ritual is lighting a little flame. So lighting the candle, having the fire burning, that is the most important thing. So if you don't have a specific candle, you can just use a white candle. Even if it's a tall candle, you can use that. If it's a thin candle, use that. If it's even just a tea light candle, you still can use it, because like I said, the important thing is setting your intention and burning the candle to encourage the rebirth of the sun and to welcome back the god of light. Okay. So it says ring the bell 3 times. And then say this is winter solstice, longest night of the year. Darkness reigns triumphant, yet gives way and changes into the light. The Sun King has gone into a mania, yet within the sacred cauldron of rebirth, he is once more transformed into the newborn divine child of light. Put a little more incense on the coals, so that's burning incense for the element of air. All is called, and I await the coming of the dawn. As the sun rises, a triple goddess once more gives birth to the divine child. In silence and wonder I stand before the sacred cauldron of rebirth. knowing that one day I too must pass through the cauldron and be reborn. For this I now give honour to the triple goddess. And then next it continues to then call upon Maiden, Mother and Crone, which a lot of Wiccans do call upon Maiden, Mother and Crone aspects, but you can simply just call upon the goddess and call upon the god. Like working with specific aspects, it's your personal preference really. So I don't particularly work with such aspects, so I believe it's to do with each personal path. So each witch will have their own personal path. If you feel drawn to work with one specific aspect, or to work with the free aspects which certain Wiccans do, then feel free to use those. However, if you'd like to use any form of deity or aspect, or if you'd, it's nice if you want to just simply call upon the horned god, which is Cernunnos of the Celtic pantheon, Celtic deities. Herne the Hunter, he's another name for the horned god. So when we say horned god, I know for some people who don't know paganism very well, they would then equate that to the Christian devil, but there is no connection, as pagans, that is, the devil belongs within the Christian religion. Paganism predates that religion, and there is no connection other than what Hollywood would have you believe, like in movies, or what certain Christian sects would have you to believe. Okay, so calling upon the goddess, so you could call upon a sun goddess, you could call upon the dark goddess. So calling at the winter solstice, it's kind of like a liminal time, especially as we're heading towards the Muggle New Year, because we already had the Witches' New Year at Samhain, but we're coming towards the Muggle New Year. So these are all shifts in liminal. So we're in the liminal places, and with the veil thinning and opening for the portal as well, it's a good time to connect with the dark goddesses such as Hecate. Even though when I say Hecate, she's not just a dark goddess, she is multifaceted and multi-aspected. So that is one of the reasons why she's one of my preferred deities. Okay. So as I said, burning candles. Get the candle burning. You can sing to your candle. You can ring your bell around your candle. Ring your bell around the candle. Sing to the candle. Talk to the candle. Tell the candle about your loved ones. So I'll give an example. So on this winter solstice, I give honour and thanks to my Nana, my grandmother, Nana Violet. She always looked after all of my family very well. She was very kind and generous, and at this time of the year, we really believe that she was like Santa, Mrs. Santa Claus, because she loved this time of the year so much. She gave us so much sweets and chocolates and gifts and presents, and she didn't have a lot of money or anything, but she did not hoard or withhold anything. She was such a giving person. So I give thanks to her on this winter solstice. And there's many ancestors, so each of us can take some time to thank our ancestors and those who've gone beyond the veil. As I believe they will hear us. I believe that they most likely hear you at any time, but they're even more likely to hear you when when the veil is thin on these portal days. So reminiscing, sharing stories, gift giving. So like I said, you can give simple gifts which you can find out in nature. If you're giving a gift to a fellow witch, us witches, we like simple things. Give us a rock, give us a stone, give us a branch which is fallen on the ground. So when we're collecting a wand or a staff for ritual use, we would not interrupt, or we wouldn't like break it off of a tree, because it's like anything else. It's like taking fruit from a tree. Why take a piece of fruit from a tree when there is a windfall of apples, for example, or pears, which have already fallen from the tree? So why would you then take another one off of the tree when nature's already given you its gifts and its bounty? So it's the same principle when collecting anything from nature. So if you're wanting to collect a wand or a branch or a friendly stick for any use at all, then do take what nature has given you. Take a branch which has fallen freely onto the floor, rather than breaking off a branch from the tree. Okay, if you can help it. Fair enough. If there's no fallen branches from the tree and you're really desperate for a tree branch, then you can spend some time to talk to the tree, build a connection, ask it if it minds in giving you a gift of a branch, and just go with your intuition. Don't think too much into it. Just go with your intuition and go with whatever impressions you pick up. So you may have impressions of yes, go ahead. It's simple. You could just practice like holding your thumb up. So just practice going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and ask the tree, can I take a branch? Can I take a branch? Can I take a branch? And just stop when you feel drawn to stop. So if your thumb's up, then that would be an indication that the tree is giving you permission. So this is kind of similar to like when you use a pendulum. You could also use a pendulum as well. That would make it easy to connect and to gain that sort of to gain that connection with the tree spirits. Okay. So let me just see, do I have my other book here? I believe I do. Okay, so I've got one of my books here, but it's not. Oh, the other book's over there. So I was looking for one of the Book of Shadows so I can read some more Yule prayers or songs. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you may have heard me read some of these spells or prayers already, because I do have quite a number of videos about the Book of Shadows and writing your Book of Shadows and adding stuff to your Book of Shadows. Okay, so here we have the Song of the Goddess. So I am the Great Mother, worshipped by all creation. and existent prior to their consciousness. I am the primal female force, boundless and eternal. I am the chaste goddess of the moon, the lady of all magic. The winds and moving leaves sing my name. I wear the crescent moon upon my brow, and my feet rest among the starry heavens. I wear the crescent moon upon my brow. I read that twice. I am the mysteries yet unsolved, a path newly set upon. I am a field untouched by the plough. Rejoice in me and know the fullness of youth. I am the blessed mother, the gracious lady of the harvest. I am clothed with the deep, cool wonder of the earth, and the gold of the fields heavy with grain. So that is part of the Song of the Goddess. So if you type these things into Google, you'll most likely find it. And then there's the Witch's Ballad there. But I was looking for the Yule ritual that I like. Yule ritual, here it is. Okay, so this is from Scott Cunningham. So again, this is similar to the DJ Conway ritual. Scott Cunningham asks you to put a red or gold candle inside of a cauldron, and you start by saying some of the prayer or the spell. So I sorrow not though the world is wrapped in sleep. I sorrow not though the icy winds blast. I sorrow not though the hard snow falls, or rather the snow falls hard and deep. This soon shall pass. And then you light the candle in the cauldron. And then you chant for some time. The wheel turns, the power burns, the wheel turns, the power burns, the wheel turns, the power burns. So this is the chant, which you go with that. And then you would then meditate on the sun's return. So that being the light. So meditate on the days growing longer, and the wheel will working its way up to the summer solstice when the sun will be at its height again. Okay. And then once you've spent some time in meditation, focusing on connecting and welcoming back the sun god, you then chant some more. So, great God of the sun, I welcome your return. May you shine brightly upon the goddess. May you shine brightly upon the earth, scattering seeds and fertilizing the land. All blessings upon you, reborn one of the sun. Okay, so that is just a basic ritual that comes from Scott Cunningham. So you can search that up online, or I believe you'd be able to find it in his Solitary Witch Handbook. I believe that's where it came from. But if you're not able to get the book, you can just search Scott Cunningham Yule Ritual, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it online. Okay. So let's see what else I've got in my book. So that's interesting. So I've got an inner sun spell. So that would be useful to chant by focusing on connecting yourself with the sun's energy. So I gather the light within myself and I command it to manifest threefold. I will my chakras to be energized and to hold the light and heat of my inner sun. So be it. So if you liked, you could repeat that a few times and focus on connecting with the sun's energy as it's reborn. And another one here, I've got the sun and moon empowering spell. So this would be quite a good one to use, as it works with the polarity of energies. So you're connecting with the goddess and you're connecting with the god, and this is through their representations of the sun and the moon. So Great Mother Selene, goddess of the hunt, goddess of the moon, your freedom and strength imbue me with light, protect and empower me by day and by night. Gracious Amun-Ra, great god of the sun, your energy infuses me with new life and vitality. By the powers of the moon and sun, by the powers of day, powers of night, make me one, too strong to fight. To the all gods I am true, increase my power by three. Ancient power, I call upon you. So that was just a chant which you could use for connecting with balancing the sun and moon energies. So at this time of the year, it's also a good time, like on one of the big festivals, like, or the portals that we're on, it's a good time for putting up protection spells as well. So protection spells can be as simple as just I am protected by your might, O gracious goddess, day and night. Or you could use something which is a bit more. So you could use where is it? So mother, hold high your powerful arms as I weave this place in protective charms. Or as I wrap this place in protective charms, goddess, raise high your powerful arms. So that would be a basic chant which you could repeat and just visualizing light being embedded in the walls and in the foundations of your property, of your home, creating a protective space for you to reside in, and focus on protecting everybody within the home. So every person who lives there, your family, your pets, absolutely everyone, focus on creating a protective barrier which will protect everybody from any harms that you may anticipate, or any harms which would be unexpected as well. So that's just using your connection to the portal to place up a protective barrier around your home. That's another use for the solstice as well. And the Druid's Prayer, so that is a nice one to use at the solstice. So grant, O goddess, thy protection, and in thy protection strength, and in strength understanding, and in understanding knowledge, and in knowledge the knowledge of justice, and in the knowledge of justice the love of it, and in the love of it the love of all existences, and in the love of all existences the love of the goddess and all goodness. So mote it be. Okay. So there are a few basic chants that you could use on this special sacred day, using the winter solstice or Yuletide energies, and just remembering, think about what this portal means to you. So as you could think about what the winter solstice means to you, and think about the bigger holiday, because there's so many holidays around this time. So obviously we have the winter solstice, we have Christmas, we have other stuff like Hanukkah, and I believe we had Diwali recently, or it may be upcoming. I know it's in a close vicinity with the others. So there's a lot of sacred festivals from different religions. So it is a powerful time of the year. So just walking through all of these portals, or consciously, and being present in the moment, and being conscious of which portals you'd like to walk through. And also know that if you're busy as well, like if you're like running around like a headless chicken, if you're doing this, that and the other for your family, for your friends, you're going to see friends, you're giving gifts here and there and the other, so don't worry if you don't have lots of time. Yes, it is good to make some time so you don't experience burnout. So if you're able to make some time, do some meditation, take some time to connect and to ground into the Mother Earth energy, and take some time to go out into the sunlight as well. Go out into the reborn sun, get some sun rays while you can. So these are all ways which we can connect with these portals and the current energies that are surrounding us. Masters cards, I will pull a few cards, why not? Okay. Okay. So just a few cards for some guidance for us. So this is Doreen Virtue's Ascended Masters Oracle deck. Okay, Spirit, Ancestors, what guidance do you have for us? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so just taking a moment, grounding ourselves. Oh, a card's flown out at me. And what do you know? So the Ascended Master, who's literally jumped out of the deck at us, is Apollo, god of light. So Apollo comes from the Greco-Roman pantheon. So he's a Hellenic deity. And a lot of people call him a sun god, but he isn't technically a sun god. He's a god of light. So he's shining. He pulls, I believe he may pull the chariot of the sun, but he isn't literally the sun's representation. He does have an important part to play in pulling the sun chariot, but he is simply a god of light. So don't get that mixed up. But also he does, so the gift, or rather the message which this Ascended Master is bringing, he's telling us all to focus upon your strengths. So focus on your strengths. Okay. And what is interesting, we also have Merlin at the bottom of the deck as well. So Merlin was just sat there waiting patiently at the bottom of the deck. So there's lots of beautiful energies. So many Ascended Masters who are just ready and waiting to assist us with going through these big energies and these portals, like winter solstice and New Year's coming up. So winter solstice, Christmas, we had the 12/12 portal earlier on this month. We had Friday the 13th. We had a full moon, as we do most months. So we've had a lot of portals, and the portals are just going to keep coming. So it's just being mindful of the portals. Okay. So those are 2 ascended masters who are coming in with guidance. So if you're struggling at this time of the year, if you're too concerned with the darkness, if you feel like the light is too far removed and there's no light in sight, if you're feeling cold or isolated, then call upon these ascended masters, Apollo, Merlin, and the white buffalo calf woman. That's interesting, as I believe the white buffalo woman, she was in one of the readings. Maybe if it wasn't last week, it may have been the week before, but she's definitely popped up in one of the recent readings. So I feel like she's around us very strongly at the moment. And it's interesting because the message she brings is peace offering. So this is very interesting right now, actually, because at this time of the year, like, arguments tend to flare up with those who are dear to us. So, which is interesting, as I believe there's this on this very day, like, my sisters have had some sort of altercation. So it's just, spirit is guiding us to hold up the white flag and to make peace offerings with our loved ones, and not to take life too seriously, and remember that life is short and life is precious and no moments should be wasted. So don't spend too much time thinking about, oh, she said this or she did that and yada yada yada. Think about this present moment and how you can truly enjoy it and live it, and let bygones be bygones, and come into the new year with a clean slate and with love in your heart. So these are the messages which have came from the ascended masters. So we've got Apollo, Merlin, and the white buffalo woman. So those are very beautiful messages. So if you resonate with any of those messages or any of those ascended masters, call upon them. Just take a moment to put your hand over your heart, be sincere, just call out their name, whether it's Apollo, Merlin, or white buffalo calf woman, and just ask them for help, and ask them for the specific area that you need help. Let them know where you need help, because spirit is always ready and willing to give us assistance. They will send help to us in ways that we could never expect, but if we don't ask them for help, then we tend to not really get much of their help, because they like us to ask for their help, just because of all of the free will, because they can't really interfere too much in our lives because we have personal and free will. Okay, right, because 4's one of my favourite numbers, I'm going to draw one more of these cards. So which other ascended master? Vishnu. Trust. So that's interesting. I don't pull that card very often, so I'm going to read what it says about this one. because I feel like this may have an interesting message which will tie in with the other cards. So Vishnu Trust. Yeah, I don't think I've had these. I've been reading these cards for years, for such a long time. I believe I probably got these cards in like 2011 or something like that. So I've had these cards for a long time and I've never pulled this card before. So I think it must be quite special that he's popping up now. So Vishnu says you can trust the situation you're inquiring about. The solid foundation of your situation gives it a trustworthy basis. Keep purifying your motivations so that they're completely about love and service to elevate the energy and experiences even further. So additional meanings for the card. The person you're inquiring about is trustworthy. Trust that your prayers are being answered, even if you don't yet have evidence. So this is a very I feel like it's a very perfect message, because if you think about like our ancient ancestors, if you think about back in the caveman periods, like when they were waiting for, they may have, some of them may not have thought, when they saw the sun go down, they may have believed that it may not come back, especially like on night like today when we have the longest night. So if you think about a caveman on the solstice, they'd be like, oh God, like the sun went down and we've had such a long night. Is it ever going to come back, or is this it now? Are we just in darkness for the rest of our lives, and is everything just going to wither and die? So it's about, there's that kind of energy there. So it's trusting, having faith, even though you don't have the evidence that the sun will rise again. Have faith and know that it will. Know that the good thing will happen, even if you don't have any evidence of that coming around the corner. So that is the guidance from the Ascended Masters. Okay. And I'm going to pull a card from the Hecatean Oracle. Hecate is my patron deity, so I believe we'll pull a card from this oracle just to crown the reading and to bring the message home. Okay. What guidance do you have for us, Goddess Hecate? Okay. So this is the path which has came up. So this is the card which has come up. So it says the path and the journey. So it's interesting, I've not pulled this card either before. So let me read what this says about this one. So it says the path and the journey. So right away that's kind of giving me like kind of the Fool energy. Like if you're thinking about the tarot, the Fool card is all about going on a journey, and no matter where you're stepping, walk with confidence, as you will get to where you're going, and nothing can harm you or sway you. There is like that level of divine intervention and the fates at work. Okay, so it's number 28. Okay, that's interesting. I literally opened to the correct page as well. So it says, life is a journey and the path is long, just like the longest night. Interesting. And winding. Though we may get lost at times, We must keep moving forward. Through adventure, we draw closer to Hecate. A journey isn't about the destination, and you are encouraged to experience moments along the way. Even when the path is obscured, treacherous, or challenging, know that Hecate is there with you, venturing into the unknown. The road may not always be easy or clear, but you are heading in the right direction. So that is the message from Goddess Hecate. Wow. So many messages. I just don't want to stop. I'm gonna pull a card from the Kuan Yin Oracle. I don't use this oracle very much, but I feel like there is going to be some beautiful messages from this deck as well. Okay, Spirit, what guidance do you have for us at this time? I'm going to see what card's at the bottom of the deck. So it says, sound the fierce flute. Ooh, that's interesting. That's an interesting card. So, like earlier on, we was talking about the importance of sound. So sound is used to ward off evil, as well as place us all into sorts of meditative states. So sound is used for multiple different reasons. So in ritual, we use it to either place ourselves into a meditative state, or we may listen to it for enjoyment as well. And we use sound also because sound moves energy. So we use any sort of sound, such as a bell or a flute, to move the energy that's around us. So sound moves stuck energy. So it says, sound the fierce flute. That is interesting. Okay. And where is the book for this? I want to hear some more about that. Okay, so Pedram says, what power, sweet child of the stars? Money is what makes power, not cards and crystals. 52 minutes and 3 people watching, he says. He thinks he's a loser because he's been watching for 52 minutes. I don't think you're a loser for watching for 52 minutes. I think you're ace. Okay, so sound the fierce flute, 29. So it says, discernment empowers you to make the choices that are aligned with your spiritual intentions. Like a fierce sounding flute cutting through all vibrations with purity and intent. Your discernment allows you to stay true to your values and spiritual destiny without getting caught up in distractions. If you wish to grow spiritually through love, joy, peace, abundance, then discerning between higher and lower vibrational choices is helpful. Okay, so it says, it is wise to be accepting of all life and not to judge people or situations as good or bad. Some are more pleasant than others, and yet sometimes a challenge can turn out to bring us great growth and opportunity, which in turn becomes a blessing. However, this does not mean that we are wise to abandon the power of choice. We can use our discernment to be guided on our path to the most joyful, uplifting and helpful experiences for our soul's growth. So it says, discernment is not judgment. It does not render some things better or worse than others. It is the power of selection based on desire or intention. So if we intend to grow through joy and adventure, rather than fear or suffering. Then we can use our discernment to make choices that feel expansive and uplifting. So yeah, that is a very important message there. So using our discernment. So basically, it's like there's a popular saying, you are who you hang around with, or your attention goes or rather your energy goes where your attention flows. So okay, your attention goes where the energy flows. So let me just see that again. So what, it was number 29. And it also said, discernment is necessary in all realms of life, from the physical to the spiritual, from the sort of lifestyle we choose to lead to the people we choose to spend time with, or the ways that we spend most of our time, even the kinds of spiritual energies that we invoke. Discerning choices helps us to craft our reality. A wise use of discernment helps us to be truthful, clear and accurate in our perception. Like the fierce flute cutting through all vibration, discernment shatters illusions and gets the truth of a matter right to the essence. With truth, there are no nasty surprises later on, or if there are, we can deal with them swiftly and use them for growth with minimal suffering. Okay, so that was the message which came from the Kuan Yin Oracle. So I'm going to pull one more of these cards because I like where these messages are going. And it does seem to be forming like a web. I feel like the cards are forming like a web of energies. So we've got so many beautiful energies. So we've had Apollo's energy coming through, we've had Merlin's energy coming through, we've had the White Buffalo woman coming through, we've had Hecate, we've had Kuan Yin. So many beautiful deities and ascended beings. Immortal treasures is the next card. So that's the next card. So let's see what it says about that one. That's number 14. 14. So it says, you carry within you precious immortal treasures, beloved. They exist beyond life and death, belonging to the celestial, heavenly realms of divine presence within you. Kuan Yin now guides you to honor these treasures, the gifts of your soul, which include the ability that you have to transmit healing, honoring yourself as a healer, beloved. Whether formally or informally, your soul brings a special healing light to humanity. You have divine support in your role as a healer, in whatever way, usual or highly unusual, that is unfolding for you now. Each soul is unique and precious in its own way. Certain souls have the light of healing. Yours is one such soul. Your presence on this planet brings light and hope to others, sometimes in ways that you don't consciously recognize. Kuan Yin is with you, guiding you to be open to perceiving and utilizing the immortal treasures that lay within you, the beautiful light and gifts of your divine soul. Just remember to take care of yourself too. An empty cup cannot fill another. It is better to allow your inner cup to be spiritually filled and emotionally and physically replenished through balanced self-care. A bit of indulgent, balanced with loving discipline and boundaries that make you feel safe and secure within. To find the right way to care for yourself, explore what might work for you. It might be yoga and meditation, a little sacred time each day, to sit with a crystal or talk from your heart with your guidance, a health retreat, time in nature, a good book, sometime laughing or playing with loved ones, your healing ability will find new levels of power and strength through its exploration of self-care. So if you pair both of those Kuan Yin cards together, so it's about tapping into sound for connecting to the light within yourself, and the power deep within, so that divine spark that's within us. So every one of us is capable of performing healing. We can heal ourselves and we can heal each other within reason. But when we call it, I call myself a healer, but that's not because I go out. I'm not a faith healer. I don't perform miracles to heal people. What I do is I give people the tools to bring about healing themselves. So I'm opening them to that flow of energy, and it triggers that. It moves them from their natural state of being in fight or flight and move them over into a more calming and healing state. Okay, so I believe a lot of people who are watching this, you may be healers too, whether you know it or not. So it may be useful for tapping into sound if you don't have any other healing modalities. So if you haven't learned Reiki, if you don't have any Reiki symbols, or if you don't have any form of any other ways of doing healing other than maybe prayer or chanting, try utilizing sound, because the goddess is suggesting that using music and sound is a powerful way for you. Hello, Rachel. So Rachel says, hello from the borderlands of Arizona and Mexico. Love all the beautiful sister goddesses. I am grateful for their guidance, teachings, and refuge. Thank you for sharing, Ubuntu. You're very welcome, Rachel. Thank you for commenting and for watching. Okay, so we've had a lot of beautiful messages there. Okay, so I'm just going to next read the blessing of the light. I feel this is very fitting on this day. So it's, may the blessing of the light be upon you, light within and light without. May the blessed sunlight shine upon you and warm your heart till it glows like a great peat fire, so that the stranger may come and warm himself at it, as well as the friend. And may the blessing of the rain be upon you, the soft, sweet rain. May it fall upon your spirit, so that all the little flowers may spring up and shed their sweetness on the air. And may the blessing of the great rains be upon you, that they beat upon your spirit and wash it fair and clean, and leave there many a shining pool and sometimes a star. And may the blessing of the earth be upon you, the great round earth. May you ever have a kindly greeting for people you pass as you are going along the roads. And now may the Lord and Lady bless you and bless you kindly. So mote it be. Okay, so that is a beautiful ancient Irish prayer, blessing of the light. So there's so many lovely prayers. Okay, so I've came to the Pagan Creed now. So I feel like if there's, hey, good evening. So House of Tower says, hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being here. So next I'm going to read the Pagan Creed. So I feel this is interesting. This will be a good one as it helps to spread disinformation. So, like, people think such crazy things about witches and pagans, and so me reading this, I believe, for those who actually take some time to listen and hear what I'm saying, then it will help to demystify it and to remove some of that disinformation which is out there, which is kind of helped by the Hollywood and the media and whatever else. So it says, I am a pagan and I dedicate myself to channeling the spiritual energy of my inner self to help and heal myself and others. I know that I am part of the whole of nature. May I grow in understanding of the unity of all nature. May I always walk in balance. May I always be mindful of diversity of nature as well as its unity, and may I always be tolerant of those whose race, appearance, sex, sexual preference, culture and other ways differ from my own. May I use the force wisely and never use it for aggression nor for malevolent purposes. May I never direct it to curtail the free will of another. May I always be mindful that I create my own reality and that I have the power within to create positivity in my life. May I always act in an honourable way, being honest with myself and others, keeping my word whenever I have given it, fulfilling all responsibilities and commitments I have taken on to the best of my ability. May I always remember that whatever is sent out always returns magnified to the sender. May the forces of karma move swiftly to remind me of those spiritual commitments when I have begun to falter from them. And may I use this karmic feedback to help myself grow and be more attuned to my inner pagan spirit. May I always remain strong and committed to my spiritual ideals in the face of adversity and negativity. May the force of my inner spirit ground out all malevolence and directed my way and transform it into positivity. May my inner light shine so strongly that malevolent forces cannot even approach my sphere of existence. May I always grow in inner wisdom and understanding. May I see every problem that I face as an opportunity to develop myself spiritually in solving it. May I always act out of love to all other beings on this planet, to other humans, to plants, to animals, to minerals, to elementals, to spirits, and to other entities. May I always be mindful that Goddess and God in all their forms dwell within me, and that this divinity is reflected through my own inner self, my pagan spirit. May I always channel love and light from my being. May my inner spirit, rather than my ego self, guide all of my thoughts, feelings and actions. So mote it be. Okay, so that was the Pagan Creed. Okay. House of